and Namaste, and it's time for Namaste Tokyo again. Let's slip into the first segment, India in Tokyo. India haven't had much to cheer about when it comes to athletics at the world level, especially at the Olympics. In 1960 Rome Olympics, we came pretty close to winning a medal, again in 1984 in Los Angeles, and then in 2004 at Athens. 3 times we came close, but we could not. Now, it was Milkha Singh, the great Milkha Singh, the late Milkha Singh, who actually came very close to winning a medal and had to miss out on a bronze by 0.1 second. What a heartbreaking moment. And in 1984, it was P.T. Usha who actually saw her name in the medal tally for a brief period, and then it was removed. It was a photo finish that she lost out on 1/100th of a second. And then it was in 2004 when Anju Bobby George, riding on the confidence of a world championship medal, went into the games but came very close. She finished 5th in very, very difficult conditions. And now, can we expect a medal from India in Tokyo? Well, we expect the contingent to do well. But there is one shining star in Neeraj Chopra. The javelin star was the world champion, the world junior champion in 2016. And 2 years later, he went on to become the Asian champion as well as the Commonwealth champion as well. Can we expect a medal? There is a realistic possibility. If he holds his nerve, if the big occasion doesn't get to him, he is in with a chance. Let's hope that Neeraj wins a medal for us. And we also have Dudi Chand in 100 and 200. These two are the torchbearers of Indian athletics. Let's hope they do well. It's time to meet the champion. Today, we're going to focus on somebody who had to fight against adversities, who had to fight against her own body, and she still remains the only medalist for India at the World Athletics Championship. God's own country, the small state of Kerala, has a rich legacy of having produced some amazing athletes. And today joining me in the show, Namaste Tokyo, is one of the names that you find right at the top of the list, the one and only Anju Bobby George. Anju, what a pleasure having you. Warm welcome to Namaste Tokyo. How are you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, we are doing good. The only thing is that Corona is keeping us busy now online.
Right. But I heard that you're still doing a bit of work and still you travel whenever possible.
Yes. And our training is also on, luckily. And our athletes are getting ready for the Junior World Championships. Hopefully, we also will do better this time.
Right. So Olympics time it is, and sadly, but we had to postpone it by a year. But the good thing is that it's finally happening after all the speculations and the wait and the uncertainties that we had for almost 15 months. It's also time for us to slip into the good memories of your performances. And obviously 2004 Athens is something we're going to talk about. But before that, you're from CKM Kodithod, which has a rich legacy of having produced amazing athletes, right? We talked about the coaches from that school earlier. Now, you were a heptathlon athlete to start with. So tell us about those days when you made a switch to the jumping pit.
I can say that it was a great journey. From childhood itself, I started my career as an athlete. Other than that, I never thought of anything else. And the initial stages, I was not that ready to do sports because, it's not that easy.
Right.
And we struggle a lot, even while training and for finding coaches and travel, everything you have to. And luckily, I got a good coach when I was 9th standard in Kodithod, but it was a remote village and I was not ready to live there for in the initial stages. But from there, actually, I started my career as an athlete in the national stage. I started performing well, and I was the national champion in 100-meter hurdles, heptathlon, and long jump, of course, and high jump also. Then from my college days, actually, I started dipping little down. Maybe because of coaching or lack of coaching or lack of infrastructure. I don't know what was the initial issues. But when I reached the national camp, um, again, I started performing well. And my international career started from there. But a lot of injuries in between and a lot of issues again. 2000 again, I qualified for the Olympics, but unfortunately, I couldn't go for that competition because of the ankle injury again. But after meeting Bobby, my career graph started shooting up, and there was no looking back again after that. So yeah, a lot of stories, a lot of struggle, a lot of things in between, but we climbed the ladder.
Absolutely. I'm taking you back to a year prior to the Olympics, which probably is a very mixed feelings that you'll have. You were busy in the European circuit with about 6-7 events, and you noticed that your body was responding in a very unusual way. You started to have tiredness, excess fatigue, and you have swollen parts of the body which were very unusual. It actually took you to a doctor, and the first doctor who told you that there's a good chance that you're operating with one kidney, and subsequently the other doctors confirmed it. I will split this question into two parts. What was it feeling initially when you heard it? For an athlete, it's unbearable, isn't it? And then second, you decided to go to Paris for the World Championship with it, and that resulted in India's only medal ever in World Championships. So take me through that entire thing of the mixed emotions that you went through.
Actually, first I heard about this not during the Paris World Championship, little before. And for an athlete, anything about our health is very important. And these kind of things we cannot even imagine, because we are fighting with the best of the best in the world, and even a centimeter we cannot afford. And I was about to quit, actually, literally, but Bobby was there with me, and he was standing like a pillar, and he assured me that if anything happens to you, I will donate one kidney for you. So that was a big motivation for me. And he told me, like, see, till here you reach without knowing this issue, and we are moving ahead without just ignoring this issue. And after all this competition, before the Paris World Championship, the last competition I miserably failed, and I was out of finals, the first time out of finals. And a lot of, as you said, a lot of issues I faced. And the doctor told me, like, you are facing fatigue, and you cannot do within 6 months, and it's better you go back to India and take rest and don't think about the competition.
So you were in Europe. You were in Europe then. Which country were you in?
I was in Europe. Yes, I was training in US, and I came in Europe for the competitions, and I was doing a big stretch of competition with all the best bunch of the athletes, and all this travel, training, and everything was new for me, and I was performing well also there. So all this, because of tension, travel, and all these things, the fatigue came. And just 20 days before, you can imagine the situation.
So I was just thinking, I mean, a lot of care to be taken. I mean, as a simple comment is that if you have a kidney issue, the doctors ask you to ensure that do not get dehydrated, which can be an issue for any sportsman, because when you train so hard and you talk about the protein intake, which has to be perfect as compared to a normal human being who's probably doing a normal work. I mean, you exert your body a lot. All that is fine because you can stick to it. But you are approaching a world championship, that too in a conditions existing in a country like France, in a city like Paris. How did you get the mental strength? I mean, how did you garner that kind of a strength to go and look? I have one kidney that is running in the back of your mind, but still you want to compete at the highest level and win a medal for the country. So I'm more interested in knowing the exact thought process there.
Okay, so actually, Bobby, he is the one who made that, like, who is the creator of that medal, I can say that.
Right.
Because I was not in a situation, I was not in a mind state to do perform like competition. But he told me like he mentally prepared for the competition. I don't know how he did. In that 20 days, he did some wonder. And even Mike Pearl, actually, he was not there during that time. When he came back to Paris, he actually, Bobby, what you did? It's wonderful. And she's
Right.
jumping, she's flying. Yeah,
Right.
that's what his first comment. So that much difference he made in the 20 days training. And I don't know, mental training or physical training, what he did, but
Right.
I was ready for that competition within the 20 days. And he told me like, we are going to Paris, but we are not going to compete there. We are just going as a visitor. You
Right.
just chill and you just enjoy Paris. You go wherever you want. You eat whatever you want. So I was ready
Right.
because okay, anyway, we are in Europe and we have to go there either as a competitor or a visitor. So
As a tourist,
I
yeah.
yeah, as a visitor I'm going there. But within the 20 days, with his training, with his support, I managed to win a medal for our country, and that was first in our history.
The practical difficulty that I can imagine is that you cannot push yourself to the hilt physically because of the knowledge of the issue. If you're not aware of that, you probably would. But now that you're aware, and I'm sure that there's always a limitation there. But if you have to win a medal at that level, you have to push yourself. So it would have been a kind of a catch-22. It's like, do I
You
do
know one
this?
thing.
Yeah.
You know one thing. Our body can do wonders.
Right.
We are always limiting our body, but if you try beyond that, it can do wonders. But
Right.
we need
Right.
somebody who can do that, who
Right.
who is able to do that. A
It's a great
backup
message to
support.
all our young viewers who probably feel that, "Oh, I cannot crack this exam, I cannot do this, I cannot do that." Here is a world champion talking about her achievement. We already mentioned what it's called renal agenesis. Am I right? The condition that you have. Wow. I mean, I can only say wow listening to it. Now, if you look at the Athens Olympics, it kind of got sandwiched between what I think, personally, I think are two of your best achievements. The bronze medal at the World Championship in Paris, the 6.7 that you jumped, and then 2005 after Athens, you did a 6.75 again at the World Athletics Championship, where it was the best of the eight based on rankings, and you won a gold there, which personally I'm sure that you rate as the best in terms of the gold. Athens came in between. So going into Athens, and I think your chances were quite bright, and your confidence also would have been high from the bronze medal that you won in Paris.
2004 Athens Olympic year, I was well prepared and I was always jumping above 7 meters during my training time. And I
Right,
started my first competition, Doha, opened up 683.
right,
So I was in a safe position to get a medal in Athens.
right.
But unfortunately, and I was in that world top four.
Yeah, yeah,
And when I reached there, I thought I will, because like, I am ready for a medal.
right,
But after the first round, I was the first one who qualified for the finals. But after
right,
that, called me for the doctors, and I waited like till next day morning.
right,
The entire process took a long time.
right,
And when I came back for the finals,
right,
I got fever and was not ready to do that. And even though my first jump was my best, I don't know how I did that because
right,
my body was not at all moving. And I told Bobby
right,
that I'm not in a position to continue here. And
right,
but he told me like this is finals, this is Olympic, and the entire India is watching you. You have to finish the competition. And somehow I did. I don't know how I finished that competition. But actually that year it was the best year in my life. And I was all set to go beyond 715
right,
and for
right,
the gold medal. But
right,
again, I finished sixth there. But Marian
right,
Jones caught for the top, and I moved up to in the fifth position. But again, the first, second three, you know, that Russian issues.
I know.
All the story, all the history.
Right. But all I can say is that fifth position, I mean, although there's a slight disappointment that you missed out on the medal, when you look at it in totality and what you went through and the history of it and all that, I think that fifth position shines as bright as a gold. That's what I can say. And it comes from the bottom of the heart. And I'm sure that a lot of Indians share the same sentiment. Now, this takes me to another issue. If you look at the World Championship, 6.7 was good enough for a medal. And when it comes to your best performance in terms of distance, it's 6.83, which came in Athens. Now, Anju, the thing is, I read somewhere that you said, and your husband also said, that if Anju had better coaching facilities right from the beginning, we could have had more medals from Anju. The nation is very happy, but Anju feels that she could have had more medals if there was. So, despite the fact that you had a Mike Powell, a legend like Mike Powell helping you, you had training and practice and competitions across the globe. That isn't enough when it comes to Olympics, right? If you look at when it comes to Olympics, the other countries, they push themselves so hard and there's better training. So, do you think? Now, I ask this question in Olympics. After PT Usha in 1984, very narrowly missing out on a medal, heartbreakingly. And I say heartbreakingly because her name was there and then it was taken away. There are a lot of issues regarding that as well, but let's not get into the political side of it. The sniff that we had, the real chance we had was with you. And we haven't had a realistic medal, chance of a medal in athletics since then. It speaks something about our environment. Has it changed or unfortunately remains the same?
Why we said that? Because I started my training with Bobby around 2021. So
Right.
that many years I missed. And from there,
Right.
I started performing. So you can imagine how many years I lost in between and a lot of injuries. And actually, that was my issue. And I got a very short span. But our athlete, Shaili Singh, she started with us at the age of 13. And now she's at the age of 16, she's world number 1 at her age category. And she's getting ready for under 20 world championships. And we are expecting a medal. And she will get 2 world championship under 20 category.
Right.
So that is it.
Right.
A good training and in good atmosphere and all the opportunities like competing abroad and all the infrastructure, all the things together.
Right.
If we get at that age, definitely we can make world champions and Olympic medalists.
Right.
So that's it.
We'll have to talk about Shaili Singh at that 6.48 mark that she is at the moment and her future and the future of your contribution to Indian athletics. But that can wait. I'm going to actually take you to a different route now. We're going to play a small rapid fire. This is about you and your Olympics. I'll just ask 3 questions. We have 15 seconds, which means we have 5 seconds for each question.
I'm very bad in that.
It's all about you. It's just fun. We're not going to judge you based on the score. That's perfectly fine. So first question, it's easy for you. Your 6.83 is a national record, which is your personal best at the Olympics. That is at the final. Tell me your timing or the distance in the, distance in the qualifying round. You are the first one to qualify.
669.
6.69, very easy, right? And it's very easy. And I only ask easy questions. Second one, 6.83, you finished 5th. My question is, Tatiana Lebedeva of Russia was the first. What was the timing?
7.12, 7.11, 7. Yeah.
Okay, 7.07. That's okay.
07.
Yeah, 7.07. Okay, now the third question. If you look at the final list, you have Anju Bobby George 5th. You have 3 Russians in the top 3. Which country bagged the 4th?
Australia.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. I mean, you said your memory is bad. It's just very bright. The answer came within a fraction of a second. Well done. 2 out of 3. Good. So let's get back to athletics. The Anju Bobby George Foundation. What made you start it, and what is it like now, and what's the future holding for it?
Actually, that came into Bobby's mind long back when I um, um, ended my career, because
Right.
his knowledge and he's always thinking ahead, and he's
Right.
a visionary, I can say that. And he got a very good talent in coaching.
Right.
So I actually, me and Bobby together, we started this academy in India. This, even in the globe, I think this is the first one. An
Right.
athlete in my stature and a coach who is behind that, starting
Right.
together academy.
Right.
And what we gained through our competition, our exposure, our experience, we can convert and we can give back to our society, back to our youngsters. And through them, if we get an Olympic medal, see, I can say that it's our own, because we
Right.
missed only one Olympic medal. And if our athlete is able to win a medal, it's ours.
That's the
And
best thing about having a husband-wife combination. One is a great athlete, one is a great coach. Invariably, what happens once an athlete finishes his or her career, the coach takes, a different role. Here, you're bonded for life, and that really helps. And Indian athletics, Indian sport is going to benefit from that. Now, Tokyo 2020 in 2021, that itself is a little bit of a strangeness for us. But um, the good thing is it's happening, but it's very tough on the athletes to keep themselves motivated and fit and ready for it. The Indian contingent is there, and we are pinning hopes on many. What would be your message to? I'll split again into two. We say Neeraj and Duti, two people that we look up to, but then let's not write anybody off. We never know. But in general, what's the message that you want to give to the athletes over there in Tokyo right now, representing us?
our Indian athletes, they are going to face strict rules and strict, um, like a lot of problems there, because of our condition in India, back in India.
Right.
But that is one thing. Your aim should be how, like, on how we can get a medal there, and
Right.
how we can do our best performance. Forget about the medal. Try to do your
Right.
best.
Right.
So that should be your goal. That should be your aim, and just focus on that. There will be a lot of distractions around you. Just
Right.
just leave it like that and focus on your aim.
I'm sure the message is gone, has gone across, and focus on the process. The results will take care of itself. It's what the champion says. Anju, you're not just a champion of sport; you are a champion in real life too. It doesn't matter you missed out on a medal narrowly in Olympics, but you're a world champion. And I'm sure that Anju Bobby George Federation Foundation, rather, I should say, will give us many more medals, Olympic medals in the future. Wish you all the very best, and please take care of yourself. Thank you so much for talking to me on Namaste Tokyo.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Just as great. A 16-year-old girl traveled to Moscow in 1980 to participate in the Olympics. She had absolutely zero experience. People said she had a bright future. And 4 years later, in Los Angeles, she was there in the finals of the 400-meter hurdle event. And now, she had a reasonably okay start, but she gained pace, gained momentum, and she was among the medal contenders towards the end. And once she finished the race, her name was on the screen at the third position, which means she had won a bronze medal. But within a few minutes, it was replaced by Christina from Romania. And then what happened? It was a photo finish. And she didn't know that there was a technique to finish at the finish line. And that's perhaps the difference between the coaching facilities that existed in India. She had a brilliant coach in Nambiar, a very good coach, but Maybe not compared to what the other athletes got at the international arena, but still, she came very, very, very close to a medal. Imagine the agony a 20-year-old girl would have gone through missing out on a medal in such circumstances. Heartbreaking, isn't it? But she went on to become the sprint queen, not just of India, but of the entire Asia. Now, PT Usha, just as great.